Kick your shoes off, take a load off. Don't go nowhere till the show's off. Oh, you know it's gonna be a movie when you got Cletus Cassidy on your TV. Yeah, already know Mr. Funny Man. Coming to you and making you laugh again. Started off on the radio, now we got the Cletus Cassidy Show. Again. Started off on the radio, now we got the Cletus Cassidy Show. Good morning. Welcome to another episode of the See You in the Morning. I am, of course, your host, Cletus Cassidy. If you don't wonder what See You in the Morning is, it is my horrible idea to get up every morning and give you all way too much. Give people way too much insight. There's way too much of a glimpse into what's going on in my life. Daily. I do that every day. Around 7:15-ish. I get up and do that. If this is your first time hearing this, you're about to experience something. I don't even know what you're about to experience today. Today's just about to be an experience. And if you've watched before and you came back to watch again, man, I appreciate it that you came back to watch one more time. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me, and I appreciate that. First thing I do on this show daily is I speak to everybody. And if I ain't sleep with you, I speak with you. And I give out medals to the first few people who speak. So the bronze goes to Dolores this morning, silver goes to Eartha, and the gold goes to Crystal Purnell. Also Patricia's here, Wilberta, Michelle, Imelda Crystal, that's 2. Jamie, Denzel, Kim, Antoine, Ida, Sharon, Azaria, James, and Jamie's tired this morning. Thea, O'Neill. Good morning, Kimberly. Today's not the normal show. Normally I get on the show and there's hilarity and there is foolishness and there are so many things. And to be honest with you, because this show is me giving you a glimpse into my life daily, to be honest, I didn't want to do the show today. There was today's show should just be titled "I Hate September." I know everybody loves September because the Temptations sang about the 3rd of September. That was a day everybody will always remember. I freaking hate September. Um, People who don't know me, who haven't ridden with me for a long time, um, 2019, September 24th, my mom died. My mom died in September 24th, you know? And so every day this time of year is a struggle, you know? You try to deal with the memories and the thoughts and everything that comes with that. I remember my mom died in 2019. It was no, it was not good. That was not a good time for me. It was not a good day. But when my mom died in 2019, I'm an only child with one brother. So when my mom died in 2019, I had to kind of push and just be like, well, it was nobody else to do anything. There was no, I couldn't be like, oh, my brothers and sisters can handle everything and this, that, and the third. So I really had to do everything. And then the pain of it never really goes away. In June, my mom's birthday is June 13th. So every year around June 13th, I kind of get, emotional. I kind of have some things that go on, but I move through them. And so this year, my mom's birthday, it was so much better for me this year. Like this year, my mom's birthday came. I wasn't ultra melancholy. I didn't go, I didn't really go into a dark place. So I was preparing for this year, the 24th. I knew it was coming, but I was like, ooh, God was like, ooh, I'm gonna book a show for you on the 24th. Like a lot of people don't know, when my mom died, I did my mom's eulogy. Right after I did her eulogy, I left and I went and I did a comedy show. Same day. It was Comedy is so therapeutic for me. It's so healing for me, you know? So I did that and it helped. And this year, I'm in Richmond on the 24th. I got comedy on the 24th. I was like, "Ooh, this will help me a lot. I don't have to worry about anything else. I can go and for just whatever period of time I'm on the stage, my mind can be away from all of it and the whatever the endorphins or whatever will be there for me on the 24th." So I was like, I'm gonna be great. Yesterday I was late during the show. Yesterday I was late during the show, and when I got finished with the show, I went and laid down. I was tired, but I wasn't tired. If that makes any sense. So yesterday after I got finished on the show, I went and I laid down. When I went and laid down, one of my cousins started calling me. She called me, and to be honest, me and my cousin, sometimes we don't always see eye to eye. So I had to have. You ever had people that call you? You got to have the right energy. You got to build yourself up to talk to them. You got to be like, okay, let me get right. Let me get right before I talk to him. So when she called, I didn't answer because I just was like, I'm not right to talk yet. So she called, and then right after that, another one of my cousins called. So when he called too, I was like, why am I getting back to back phone calls from my family? It's just not right. So I went ahead and called her back, And when I called her back, she was like, "Have you heard from my brother?" And I was like, "Nah." And so when she was like, "Have you heard from my brother?" I figured that he should have been calling me to tell me, like, maybe he had something he should have been calling me to tell me, like he was like, he should have already said whatever she's going to say to me. So she said that she hadn't talked to him since the weekend. She's like, "I haven't talked to him since this weekend." And his job is called. He hasn't been to work all week. He didn't call. He didn't come to work any day. So yesterday was Wednesday. So he hadn't been to work all week. And he works from home. So there's no call, no show for 3 days in a row. I haven't talked to him. Have you talked to him? And I was like, no, I haven't. And this is my cousin. Like everything that I am, he is the antithesis of. Like all the irresponsibility that I have, he's super responsible. As loud as I am, he's the antithesis. He's very quiet. He's just the opposite. Like he's the most responsible dude in the world. There's no reason why he wouldn't go to work and not call in. I got another cousin. Like if he would have been like, "Yo, he didn't call in for work for 3 days," I'd probably like, "Yeah, he's probably with some strippers in Antigua or somewhere." Like that wouldn't shock me at all. I wouldn't have any kind of concern. But when they said that he didn't call in, it was completely different. And so he lives in DC. And so they were like, his job reached out and they were like, "We're gonna go do a wellness check." They were like, "Let's call the police. Let's do a wellness check." So they had somebody over there. But in my heart of hearts, I already knew what had happened. Because I've been there before. I already knew what had happened. And so the police went over, they entered into the apartment. And I don't know how you say it. I guess the biblical way, the spiritual way is that his spiritual form had left his earthly body. And so today was difficult to do because no matter I don't know if people know or get, like, no matter what goes on in life, like it's still a obligation for me to continue to move on. But my cousin died. And people be like, "Oh man, well, cousins pass away all the time," but this cousin was different for me. People always be like, "Your cousins are your first best friends, and your cousins are people," but I didn't. I didn't have brothers and sisters growing up, so for me, my cousins filled that void. My cousins were able to be the brothers and sisters that I didn't have. They were brothers and sisters who didn't get to spend the night. They were just my brothers and sisters. So to find out that my cousin was gone just helped me to hate September more. 45 years old with so much left. I just, what do you do? I want to make sure that I honor my cousin. Like I don't know how to honor my cousin, but I'm going to. And then I don't know if anybody else has ever been to the point where he'd be like, "Well, well, God, what are you trying to prove? What is this test? Why am I online so long? Like, when do I cross? Like, like you just keep beating me up. You just like, hey, my mom died, and then when my mom passed away, my aunt, who's her sister, really stepped in and was like, "I got you, and man, you don't have to deal with anything by yourself, and you're gonna be great. And I'm gonna push you, and I'm gonna be here for your kids, and I'm gonna be like a grandma to your son. I'm gonna do all of these things for you." And she did such a wonderful job. And then one day, her job calls me and tells me that she didn't come to work. And so I go to her house and she's on the floor and I find her. And then a year later, the same thing happens with her son. And I don't I don't know. I don't get it. So maybe I got all these people who watch my show, all these folk who pay attention and watch me and they see me at my best. So maybe y'all can figure out, maybe y'all can tell me why, what the point of it is. Well, I maybe one of y'all got a better relationship with God than I do, and y'all can figure out, and y'all can call him and ask him, just be like, "Hey, man, when you go give him a break?" I'm still trying to understand. There's a show in DC in August, the weekend of August 12th. Whenever I go to DC, like my cousin's like, you don't never have to stay in a hotel. All you gotta do is come here. Like he'd be like, just come here. You can stay here. When I stayed with my cousin, and my cousin never got to go to any of my shows. He texted me before I came up. He was like, "Hey man, I actually get to come to the show this time." Like he was so excited. He was like, "I actually get to come to the show this time." And he came to the show with me in DC, and it was great, and he enjoyed it, and it was crazy because he came and another one of my cousins came, and neither one of them had really seen me on stage. Like they had never seen me do what I do really on stage. Like they know me, but they ain't never seen me on stage me. And man, you could just feel how proud he was telling me. We love. He was telling me how proud he was of me, and just like it was a good time. And had I known that was the last time I was gonna be with him, had I known, maybe I'd have said something different. Maybe I'd have done something different. Maybe when I left, I'd have gave him a long hug. Maybe when I don't know. So the the point and counterpoint, because everything has an equal and opposite reaction, right? So I was in the depths of me feeling bad and me hurting and all of these things, and I drank a lot last night. I probably would have been on, probably would have started on time today. I was starting on time today, but there was a lot of vomiting happening back there. It's pretty much a crime scene in my bathroom right now. It's you never really know what your toilet looks like. You've never really been eye to eye with your toilet until you got to be eye to eye with your toilet. And so I'm gonna be cleaning my toilet. I'm gonna do a deep dive into that thing. Man, my toilet is not what you want. It is not cool in there. That it's not. It is not cool in there, man. But luckily all I do in there is pee and poop because good goo. You can't eat off of that thing. Man. I was eye to eye with that thing today. I was like, oh, it was bad. My cousin is amazing, and there's so many little things that you gotta have um with him. Every time he come home, my cousin lived in DC, but every time he would come, well, not every time, but a lot of the times when he would come home, if he didn't feel like staying in a hotel, he would stay here. And like it was mi casa es su casa. And when I went to DC, I stayed at his house, and his casa es mi casa. I don't know how to say that in Spanish. And the thing that's killing me, right, is probably is my cousin was the most unathletic person I've ever met in my life. He had no athletic bones in his body at all. We played football together when we were kids. Like we played little league football together, and the coach would be like, "Hustle," and it was just the coach was just wasting his breath. It was nothing. There was no hustle in that young man. He had zero athletic ability at all. So I'm trying to figure out if we ever raced, if we ever ran a race, if we ever did any of those things, if we ever ran a race, if we ever did anything like that, like he was fit to be last. So why the hell did he decide to leave first? Why did he have to win this one? We had so much stuff we were supposed to do. Like we was literally supposed to just grow and be old men and sit and do old man stuff. Complain about the young people. He hated young people's rap music. He hated it. He loved Wu-Tang Clan. He hates the young people's music. Man, his new rap music was horrible. He hated all of it. He was in a band. He went to school to be in a band. There's just a lot that I want to say, and I can't. So I had to be here because, like, consistency. You got to be on the show every day. You got to be consistent. So people got to have, a consistent flow of you being on the show. Like they got to be on every day. Like that's what they tell you to be successful in this thing. But like, there's points and times and days where I just be like, man, I don't even care about being successful on here. Like I would throw all of that away. I would throw it all away if he could come back. I would throw it all away if he could just call me and be like, hey man, my bad. Y'all could have it. Like everybody could have all of it. They could have everything. If I could just be like, hey man, why you ain't answer the phone? Why you ain't what are you doing, dog? We haven't done like a public we haven't done like a public this is who we lost, this is the most public that we've been so far. So my family's probably gonna be mad at me. They're like, they got on online and talked about it. I ain't say his name, so it could be any cousin. So I think I'm getting ready to end the show, but I always end the show trying to encourage people, right? I was talking to my friend Bernard yesterday, and I was like, God really be knowing stuff. And he really will do stuff that you don't understand to set you up for something else. a lot of people may or may not know. Like I was on, I was doing like when I would do this show in the morning, I would get off this show and do another show on the West Coast, and I was doing a show with this nationally known comic, and we were on the show together, and it was, man, to put it lightly, it was really hell on earth. It was I learned a lot of negative from doing that show. I learned that it was all the negative stereotypes that I had heard about comics in the industry. I found them with that particular comic. It was a constant battle. Like he didn't want me to continue being funny on his show. He was like, "Hey man, you're being funnier than me on the show. The show should be about me, not you. You can't be you can't be funny on my show." And it was a lot happening. There was a whole lot of hell going on that show. And then I finally got fired off of the show, and then I got kind of freed up off of the show. Man, like if people knew all the stuff that I was going through behind the scenes, like I would have to get off and go and talk to people about what was going on that show. And so I went through all of that hell. But because of that, because I was on the show, I was torn with this particular comic. And so I was able to do shows. And so it was because of that tour that I was in DC to do the show in August. And that was why my cousin was able to come to the show and be on the show with me, right? So here's what I've learned. Sometimes there's going to be a lot of hell in your life. Sometimes there's going to be things that you don't understand. Sometimes there's going to be trials and tribulations, and you have absolutely no idea why you're going through all of that hell. Why life? Well, first of all, I have no idea why all this snot is coming out my nose, and so I'll take this shirt off. I'm gonna wash this shirt. I was supposed to wash my son's clothes. Ah. Anyway, you go through all this hell, and you have no idea why you go through it. You go through all this hell, you don't know why you go through it. For me, the solace was knowing that I went through all of that. I went through all the hell of being with that guy just so I could be in that one spot with my cousin. So I say all that to say, even in your pain, there's a plan. Even in your joy, there's a plan. Even in your not knowing, God has a plan. There's so much. There's a plan for you in everything. We go through a lot and we don't understand the plan because we can't see what the end is gonna be. There's so much stuff that you go through and you don't know what that end is gonna be. Hey man, be encouraged even in your pain. I don't know what this is going to teach me. I don't know how this is going to strengthen me. I don't know how this is going to make me any better. I can't see it now. Like there's nothing in me that understands this. There's nothing in me that knows what this is going to bring me. But I do know that God is so wise. God in all his infinite wisdom, he knows that even in your pain, even in your suffering, there is a plan. Even if God was wise enough to know that making his own son suffer was going to lead to something better for everybody he creates, for everybody that was ever going to live, just know that your suffering is not in vain. Just know that your hardships are not in vain. Just know that everybody. It wasn't from, and for people who's asking, it wasn't the guy that I was on with Zooming with the homies. It's definitely not Tahir. Me and Tahir are great friends. Tahir is an excellent guy. That is not Tahir. So when y'all go out, don't be like, oh man, Tahir. No, it was not Tahir. Tahir is amazing. It's not it. It is not him. So everybody know whatever you're going through, whatever your struggles is, whatever your pain is, there's a purpose, there's a plan, there's something that's going to happen. We can't see the ending. The old people say, I'm going to run off until because I don't know, until I find out what the end going to be. When we find out what that end gonna be, it's gonna blow your mind. Your traumas, your struggles, all of these things are gonna be great. And here's the thing: there are some times where we have to realize that even the suffering and the pain that you go through is not necessarily for you. Sometimes it's the fact that people see you go through what you go through, and they see you survive it, and they end up realizing that they can survive it too. There are people who are looking at you and be like, "Man, he ain't no more than me. If he can get through this, then I know that I can get through this." And there's going to be people and everybody, man. There's going to be pains on your job. There's going to be circumstances on your job, and there's going to be circumstances in your life, and there's going to be so many things. And you're going to say to yourself, "How do I get through this?" But I'm telling you now, you can look at me and you can see that all the pain, everything that God has put upon me, and I've gone through, that I've made it to this step. I'm telling you, you can make it to your next step. You feel like you'll never walk again. You'll feel like you won't be able to run. But I'm telling you now, even through your pain, even through the things that are killing you on the inside, they're making you stronger. You're surviving through all of them, and you're going to be able to do it. Your plan, the things that you go through, it's amazing. Jesus didn't go through the things he went through for Jesus. Jesus went through the things that he went through for everybody else. So sometimes we finna be like Jesus. Like, we finna go through some stuff. We finna have 39 lashes. We finna have crowns of thorns put on our head. We finna have to carry our cross. And what it's going to do, though, is it's going to make it better for somebody else. Don't feel like you're struggling. Don't feel like the pain is happening to you for no reason. There is a reason for everything. And I'm telling you, you're going to come out the other side of it so amazing. And you might not be able to see it. Listen, I can't see what it is. I don't know how I'm going to come out of this thing. I don't know why this is happening. I don't know why I'm getting ready to take September off of all of my calendars. I'm about to have 11-month calendars from now on. But I don't know how it is. But it's going to work out for you. It's somebody else out there that's hurting. There's somebody else out there that's going through something. So listen, we're going through it together. Me and you. I don't know who the you is, but me and you, we're going through this thing. And I'm telling you now, we're going to be all right. We finna be okay. It's going to be all right. We finna do it. We going to find some strength. There's going to be something in there. If you don't believe that you can make it, watch me. Watch me get through this. And then just follow me. If you don't follow me on Instagram, you don't follow me on nothing else, follow me getting through this pain and know that you can get through it too. That's all I got. I'm about to go blow my nose and clean my toilet because the two of those things are real messy right now. I appreciate everybody that tuned in today, man. I'm finna be all right, I think. I know it. I'm finna be. I can't say I think. I done told y'all that I'm gonna be. I'll see y'all again tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll be in a better mood.
Kick your shoes off,
Love
take a
y'all.
load off. Don't go nowhere till the show's off. Oh, you know it's gonna be a movie when you got Cletus Cassidy on your TV. Yeah, already know Mr. Funny Man. Coming to you and making you laugh again. Started off on the radio, now we got the Cletus Cassidy Show. Funny Man, coming to you and making you laugh again.